live from the drama-free true crime destination. Before the week begins, we pause, we reflect, and we realign with purpose. Welcome to First Sunday Focus. No, this is not First Sunday Focus. Actually, this is a special report from Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. I'm Ernest Bethea, the last outlaw. So good to have you all aboard this week. And we have I come to you with breaking news, or actually I should say a developing story coming out of Orem, Utah, and that is the shooting death of political activist Charlie Kirk. Now, before I go on, I want to make something clear to all of you. This is not a political story. Let me begin with what this is not right off the bat. This is not a political story. It is not a referendum on ideology, party, or platform. This is a human story about tragedy, about loss, and about the questions we must ask when violence interrupts public discourse. Charlie Kirk was a husband, a father, and a public figure whose life ended in a moment that demands more than partisan reaction. It demands truth. It demands accountability. And it demands that we as a society refuse to let any death, no matter who the person was, become just another headline. This special report is about the facts, about the impact, and it's about the responsibility we all share to confront violence without bias, without spin, and without forgetting the human cost. Now, as I just mentioned in my opening statement, as I mentioned in my opening statement, Charlie Clark was at an event earlier this afternoon in Orem, Utah, and while he was proceeding to answer a question, he was shot and pronounced dead at the hospital. He was only 31 years of age. I've got coverage courtesy of my good friends at Court TV, at ABC News, and at CBS News. So I am going to begin with Court TV's coverage. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk died on Wednesday after being shot in the neck during a speaking event. This is according to President Donald Trump in a social media message. Kirk was shot Wednesday afternoon while speaking at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Kirk was transported to the hospital in critical condition immediately after the shooting and died of his injuries hours later. The shooting occurred about 20 minutes after Kirk began speaking, which is roughly about 12:10 local time. Kirk was hit and taken from the location by security, Utah University said in a statement. Videos posted on social media show the moment of the shooting in the Sorensen Center courtyard on the Utah Valley University campus. A single shot is heard, and Kirk, who was seated under a tent holding a microphone, can be seen reaching for his bleeding neck. School officials told Scripps News Salt Lake City gunshots were fired from the top of a building on campus approximately 200 yards from where Kirk was speaking. According to an emergency alert issued by the school, the incident involved a single gunshot. Details about the suspected shooter or any other motivations are not yet clear. Police apprehended one person at the scene, but it was not clear if that person was the gunman. Police say they are continuing to investigate the shooting. Kirk was the CEO and co-founder of Turning Point USA, a youth organization founded to advance conservative politics on American college and high school campuses. President Donald Trump on Wednesday called for prayers for Kirk. A great guy from top to bottom, President Trump wrote. God bless him. Utah's Republican Governor Spencer Cox said he had been briefed on the shooting and said those responsible will be held fully accountable. Utah Valley University is in Orem, Utah, about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. It is the largest university in the state, with nearly 47,000 students. The campus was closed and classes were canceled on Wednesday. School officials told those on campus to shelter in place until police could come to escort them to safety. And and Court TV will update their coverage. Let's see who we got here. Mo and Company is Mo. It's good to see you. Welcome to this. This is not First Sunday Focus, as you may have caught it in the beginning. This is a special report, but it's good to have you here. I'm gonna move to CBS News's coverage, and let's see if they've updated this any. All right, let's see. Charlie Kirk shot and killed at Utah event. Subject in custody was released according to FBI director. Conservative activist and Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk died Wednesday after he was shot at an event at Utah Valley University. He was 31 years old. There was conflicting information about the investigation. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said this at a news conference. We have a person of interest in custody, while Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason said the suspect is still at large. FBI Director Kash Patel later said a subject in custody was released after being interrogated. Utah Valley University police said they were going building to building to evacuate people. President Trump posted on Truth Social, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica and family. Charlie, we love you. Kirk was participating in an event at the Orem, Utah school as part of his organization's The American Comeback Tour when he was attacked. The university said in a statement shared on social media that a shot was fired at Kirk shortly after 12 o'clock local time and he was hit. A single shot was fired, according to two law enforcement sources telling CBS News. Video of the incident showed Kirk speaking to a large crowd at an outdoor Prove Me Wrong debate, where he invites students to challenge his political and cultural views when the shot rings out. Elected officials on both sides of the aisle had swiftly condemned the attack on Kirk and denounced acts of political violence. Now, just 12 minutes ago, the president blames the radical left, quote unquote, for political violence. Now, mind you, I am not. Although I'm reading this as it is, I'm not taking sides. Let's see what Mo says. Good to see you too. It's so upsetting. So much happening. Yeah, I know. I heard someone release them. They caught someone else. Then they released them too. So nobody is captured right now. Is someone dangerous on the loose? As far as I know, Mo, someone is still out there. So we got it. We're keeping everything wide open. We're watching everything to make sure we know who's being interrogated and who is being charged. That's the reason why I'm bringing my coverage courtesy of Court TV, which you just heard, from CBS News, which is where I'm still coming from, and in just a few minutes from ABC News. 1 second. Okay. Alright. Apparently, my opening and closing statement is now ready for me. Meanwhile, back to this. President Trump is blaming the radical left for the political violence. President Trump late Wednesday blamed Kirk's shooting on radical left political violence. All right, Mr. President. Saying it has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass shooters and criminals, he said in a video posted to Truth Social. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. The motive for the shooting remains unclear. Police have not identified a suspect, and authorities in Utah said earlier Wednesday they are looking for the perpetrator. Mr. Trump said his administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that funded and supported. The president listed off several instances of violence, including last year's assassination attempt against him in Pennsylvania, the 2017 shooting that wounded Republican Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana, and the deadly December shooting of United Healthcare CEO. Mr. Trump did not mention several other recent acts of political violence that target Democratic officials. Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked at home in 2022, and earlier this year, a Minnesota state lawmaker and her husband were fatally shot, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence faced an arson attack. Now, this is why I'm not taking any sides. You see, the president is taking the violence that happened to one side, but won't mention the violence that has happened to the other side. Bottom line, in my belief, bottom line, it should never happen, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on. All right, ABC News' coverage. I'll get that in just a minute. But right now, all right, this is ABC News' coverage, and we're gonna go to ABC News special report right now.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence. To be clear, the FBI will fully support and co-lead this investigation alongside with our partners. We are working on setting up a digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you.
On behalf of President Jimenez, who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk. We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Are you still searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
They're believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting.
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooter?
Do you want to talk about what we know there?
Yeah. The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where did the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak.
I'll just say that the investigation's ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Can you talk a little about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise and what happens on these kind of events?
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we're devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things
Unfortunately,
You're watching this
they have-
live
you
press
try to get-
conference
you try to
from
get
Orem,
races
Utah.
covered, and-
Normally, we were on the air with World News Tonight. We will join the broadcast in just a moment. I want to bring you up to speed on what we just learned. There is a person of interest now in custody. They are interviewing this person. It is not the same person that was taken into custody for a short period of time earlier in the day. That person has been cleared. Again, there is a person of interest in custody. They have no intelligence at this point to believe that there was anyone else involved as of yet. They believe that shot was fired from a building on campus, a separate location, a distance away from where Charlie Kirk was. Again, Charlie Kirk shot and killed on that Utah campus this afternoon. Our team is standing by. Charlie Kirk, President Trump confirming moments ago, did not survive this shooting on a campus in Utah today. And just to bring our audience up to speed, as you know, he's a conservative activist, podcaster, traveling to college campuses across this country, the director of Turning Point USA. His wife was Erica. 31 years old, Charlie Kirk, 2 children, the youngest of which turned 1 just this past May. And he's known, obviously, not just for his activism and his visits to college campuses. He was an author, a media personality, a podcaster. And as Mary said moments ago, it is hard to overstate just how deeply connected Charlie Kirk was to President Trump and to the Trump family. Not an official advisor within the White House, but certainly an advisor in a not unofficial role, in very close contact with people who are closest to President Trump in the White House and with the president himself. And on this point, I want to bring in our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl. John, you had a very brief conversation with President Trump just moments ago. What did he say?
I had a brief conversation with the president over the phone. He sounded quite upset, quite down about this. He told me it's horrific. It's one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. He was a great guy. He was a good man. He was an incredible guy. There's nobody like him. Charlie Kirk, as Mary pointed out, was truly a personal confidant of the president, incredibly close to the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., and really, in many ways, the beating heart of the MAGA movement. His Turning Point USA organization, not just a campus organization, David. This was an organization that put on some of the largest and most ambitious conventions, rallies, events for Donald Trump around the country, with pyrotechnics and huge crowds. Also, one other thing I think that is very important about Charlie Kirk is that he was somebody, particularly in recent months, who was making a point to try to engage with those that he disagreed with. Look, he had far-right views, some very controversial views, but he sat down not long ago and did a podcast with Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. On his college campus tours, he would often give speeches. He would be protested. But then when it was over, when the discussion was over, his part of speaking, he would welcome questions from the crowds, including hostile questions in many cases from college students, and engage in those who found his views deeply problematic and offensive. He wanted to engage in those people, and he did so directly. And in fact, that appears to be what he was doing today in Utah when this horrific event happened.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, John. John, thank you. John Karl reporting on his call with President Trump moments ago. And again, Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at Utah Valley University. You heard John mention there that he welcomed debate, wanted to engage on college campuses, was known for his conservative views, though he welcomed people from the other side of the aisle and tried to engage with them. Engaging in debate, heated debate at times. And in fact, as John mentions, it was during one of those questions, one of those debate-like moments that this horrible event played out in Utah today.
And welcome back to ABC News Live. We continue to follow the breaking news. Conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has been shot at an event in Utah Valley University, posting an alert saying a single shot was fired on campus toward a visiting speaker and that the suspect is in
And it is hard to fathom where we are as a nation right now when it comes to gun violence. Now, yes, I know I said this is not a political report. I'm gonna leave that to all the political commentators on that end. But when it comes to seeking justice, even the family of Charlie Kirk deserves that. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put a wrap on this right now with this closing statement. Tonight we close not with commentary, but with compassion. Charlie Kirk is gone. A husband, a father, a voice, silenced in a moment that should have never happened. To his family, to his friends, and to those who supported him, we extend our deepest condolences. No matter your politics, no one should have to grieve this way. We do not seek justice because of who he was on the political spectrum. We seek justice because it is simply the right thing to do. When a life is taken, we seek justice for the families of the victims. Charlie Kirk, the victim in this case, along with his wife Erica and their children, are no different. Why? Because life matters. Because violence must never be normalized, no matter who the victim is. May those who love Charlie Kirk find peace. May those investigating this tragedy find truth. And may we, as a nation, find the courage to confront violence not with vengeance, but with resolve. This has been a special report from Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. We remember, we reflect, and we refuse to look away. I'm Ernest Bethea, the Last Outlaw, and when we get more information on this senseless tragedy, I'll be sure to bring it to you firsthand, right here at the drama-free true crime destination. Until then, I bid you all a good evening, and I'm praying for you all. God bless you. God bless America. Bite them.
Thank you all for joining me here at the drama-free true crime destination. Be sure to follow Bethea'S Byte Reloaded all over social media and get your coverage of true crime news with no gimmicks, no drama, and no BS. This is Bethea'S Byte, and it's reloaded.